The galaxy had always thought of humans as fragile, unpredictable, and fundamentally weak. To the collective races of the Valdari Consortium, humans were amusing creatures, two-legged bipeds with soft skins, minimal natural defenses, and an inexplicable drive to survive in places that no other species would dare. They were, in short, considered a nuisance that would eventually fade into obscurity if left unchecked. But the Consortium had underestimated one thing. Humans mastered both fight and flight with an intensity that no other species could replicate. Chapter 1. The Ignition. Captain Rilker of the Threxian Vanguard squinted at the holographic display. Her compound eyes shimmered as she traced the path of the human expedition fleet in Sector V9. It was impossible not to notice the anomaly. Humans, unarmed by galactic standards, had managed to evade 3 Threxian raiding groups in the span of 2 cycles. "Captain," her lieutenant hissed, "they're retreating again, but each time they retreat, they leave something behind." Rilker's mandibles clicked. "That is not retreat, Lieutenant. That is luring." Across the galaxy, on the human flagship Aegis, Captain Elena Reyes adjusted her gauntlet, sweat slicking her brow. The crew of her vessel, mostly humans, were in a panic, but not the kind of panic that paralyzed. No, this panic was focused, sharp, like a predator cornered, yet poised to strike. "Keep moving, people. Shields up and drones ready. If they board, we board first." Elena's voice cut through the bridge, tight and controlled. There was fear here. Everyone could see it in the blinking vitals monitors, but there was also clarity. They had survived worse than any Threxian boarding team before. The humans had learned quickly. Every flight had taught them something new. Every fight had strengthened them. Chapter 2. The Threxian Hunt. Rilker ordered her fleet to converge, intending to surround the humans. "They may have survived individual skirmishes," she muttered, "but they cannot survive the full might of the Vanguard." Meanwhile, aboard the Aegis, the human sensors picked up the convergence pattern. Elena leaned over the console, her fingers dancing across controls. "They're flanking us from all sides," said Lieutenant Chen, a young but fearless human tactical officer. Elena smirked. "Good. Let them come. It'll teach them why humans don't just fight. We run smart, we fight smarter." The humans activated a maneuver no other species in the galaxy had attempted on such a scale. Every ship split into microfleets, scattering across 3 different subspace lanes. The Threxians pursued, but every lane contained ambushes, sensor mines, decoy drones, and rapid-fire plasma turrets that seemed to materialize out of nowhere. Rilker's compound eyes widened in disbelief. They are adapting faster than protocol allows. Chapter 3. Panic Sparks. Word of the humans' tactics spread like wildfire through the galaxy. First the Threxians, then the Navari traders, and eventually the all-encompassing Consortium Council. A single fact became undeniable. Humans did not fight in predictable patterns. They did not flee blindly. They combined fear with cunning, panic with precision, retreat with retaliation. On one contested moon, a Valdari infantry unit encountered a small human reconnaissance team. The humans were vastly outnumbered. Standard doctrine demanded surrender. Instead, the humans used the moon's terrain like chess pieces. One soldier feigned retreat while another triggered a hidden seismic charge, sending the Valdari rolling down jagged cliffs. Within minutes, the humans had incapacitated half the enemy squad and vanished into the cavern systems. This became the blueprint of a human panic tactic, a phenomenon that would soon terrify the galaxy. Chapter 4. The First Confrontation. Elena and her crew received orders from the Earth-led Space Command, rendezvous with Allied fleets near the border of Consortium space. It was risky. Rilker's fleet had already begun massing, but humanity had a secret weapon. On the eve of confrontation, the humans gathered on the observation deck. Soldiers, engineers, and navigators stood in tense silence. Captain Reyes addressed them. "We are outnumbered, but we are not outmatched. Remember, panic can be weaponized. Fear can be turned into advantage. Today, we teach the galaxy that humans are neither fragile nor predictable." As the first Threxian ships emerged over the horizon, the humans executed a sequence that no one had seen before, a simultaneous fight-and-flight protocol. Some vessels acted as bait, drawing enemy fire into heavily shielded corridors. Others split into micro-squadrons, flanking and striking weak points of the larger fleet. The fastest ships would engage in sudden retreats, forcing Threxian ships into overextended pursuit. By the end of the first skirmish, the humans had lost only a fraction of their forces, while the Threxians suffered catastrophic losses. The galaxy had never seen such efficiency combined with chaos. Chapter 5. The Psychological Edge. The humans did not stop at physical superiority. They leveraged psychology. Every feint, every sudden withdrawal, every unexpected counterattack left enemies guessing. Panic spread through enemy ranks faster than plasma fire. Rilker's fleet, once disciplined and confident, found itself scattered. Reports flooded the Consortium Council. Humans could not be pinned down. They anticipated threats before they appeared, withdrew when vulnerable, and struck when least expected. Meanwhile, humans were learning from every encounter. Engineers retrofitted ships to mirror enemy technology, soldiers adapted alien combat techniques, and tacticians refined battle strategies in real time. The galaxy began to whisper. Humans were not just fighters, they were masters of fight and flight combined. Chapter 6. The Turning Point. The Consortium convened an emergency council. "Contain the humans," demanded Supreme Marshal Vord. "They are destabilizing every region. If they are allowed to continue, the galaxy itself will descend into chaos." But containment was impossible. The humans were already 2 steps ahead. Elena received intelligence of a hidden weapon depot on a contested asteroid cluster. Instead of a direct assault, she devised an audacious plan, a simultaneous multi-pronged strike combined with coordinated retreats. As the human fleet approached, Rilker's forces engaged them. The humans split, scattering in all directions. Threxian sensors locked onto fleeing ships, but each pursuit led to ambushes. Mines detonated in synchronized patterns. Decoy drones emitted false signals, leading entire squadrons into trap zones. By the time the humans regrouped, the depot was neutralized and enemy losses were staggering. Panic had turned into a galactic reputation. Chapter 7. The Galaxy Reacts. News of the humans' tactics reached every corner of the Consortium. Traders, smugglers, even neutral planets began hiring human mercenaries. The once dismissed species now commanded respect, fear, and influence. On a neutral observation station, a Navari diplomat whispered to a Valdari officer, "I never thought a species so fragile could dominate with panic." Back aboard the Aegis, Captain Reyes smiled faintly as she observed her crew. They had been terrified, yes, but that fear had been transformed into control, adaptation, and victory. Panic, when mastered, was not weakness. It was a weapon. Chapter 8. The Final Confrontation. Supreme Marshal Vord grew desperate. He ordered a full-scale assault on human space, marshalling the largest combined fleet in the galaxy. Elena knew this would be their most dangerous engagement yet. "Remember," she told her captains, "fight where we can, flee where we must, and turn every panic into opportunity. This is our greatest advantage." The battle commenced over the asteroid belts near the Orion Gate. The humans executed a stunning array of tactics. Decoy convoys drew enemy fire into asteroid fields. Stealth units struck from behind using alien cloaking tech. Retreating squads led larger enemy formations into traps, while faster ships struck the flanks. At the climax, the humans triggered a massive orbital collapse, sending an entire field of asteroids hurtling through the enemy fleet. Panic erupted across Board's command. Threxian ships collided, Navari vessels panicked, and the combined consortium forces broke apart in chaos. By nightfall, the human victory was complete. The galaxy had witnessed it. A species thought weak had leveraged fear, flight, and cunning to achieve something no one expected. Chapter 9: The Aftermath. In the council chambers of Earth Space Command, leaders discussed the outcome. Analysts called it unprecedented. Sociologists debated the human mind's resilience. Historians marked it as a turning point. Captain Elena Reyes was hailed as a hero, not just for her strategy, but for proving something the galaxy had never believed. Humans could turn fear into power, panic into precision, and weakness into supremacy. Every race now knew one undeniable truth. Humanity had mastered fight and flight, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again. The humans had become the symbol of adaptive survival, of relentless ingenuity. In a universe that measured power by fleets and firepower, humans measured power by their mind, courage, and cunning. And somewhere in the stars, Rilke nursed her wounds, whispering through mandibles trembling with awe. They are unstoppable. And they fight not for conquest, but to survive, and they will master anything that stands in their way. Ending. Years later, humans were no longer just survivors. They were mentors, strategists, and leaders. Other species adopted their methods, tried to replicate their fight-and-flight doctrine, but it was never the same. Humans had an instinct for survival fused with intelligence, courage, and adaptability. Captain Elena Reyes, older now, stood on the deck of the rebuilt Aegis. Across the galaxy, humans maintained colonies, alliances, and outposts, yet never lost the edge that had saved them so many times. They knew when to fight. They knew when to flee. And in that balance, they had conquered not by sheer strength, but by turning the galaxy's fear against itself. As she gazed at the swirling nebula beyond, Elena whispered, "The galaxy may panic at the human name, but we will always rise, always adapt, always survive. Because panic is not our weakness, it is our weapon."